the acceleration I'm getting out of this thing. Nick, you need to see this.
Riddle me this. What does a YouTuber do when they get bored? They make a list video. Yeah, that's not a riddle, that's actually just a fact. Here is a list of all 10 of the Riddler's main looks in film history, ranked from my least favorite to favorite. And that's all this is. This is by no means an objective ranking here. What comes higher in the list does not make what comes lower in the list redundant. For example, you couldn't put Paul Dano's Riddler in Batman Forever, and you couldn't put Jim Carrey's Riddler in Gotham. Actually, maybe you could. Depends what season, I guess. But anyway, just a little word on the Riddler's design. The two main staples of this design are the green color scheme and the question mark insignia. Beyond that, this costume has been interpreted in various different ways throughout its tenure in the comic books, going from your typical sort of villain spandex outfit through to something more akin to a suit and tie look. And I think because of the fluidity of this costume, the Riddler is not a difficult one to get right. He's a green guy that's got question marks on him. There's all kinds of different things you can do with that. So let's take a look at the history of the Riddler's design in live action. Starting with my number 10 pick, Jim Carrey's white rhinestone outfit from the final battle of 1995's Batman Forever. Now I have to say, I respect the shit out of Batman Forever and just the Joel Schumacher Batman films in general. Because at the time, the Batman 1966 TV serial was considered to be over the top and campy, and somehow these films managed to come up with something far more over the top and far more campy than the 1966 version could ever dream of. What the fuck is this? Joel Schumacher was all about theatrics, going over the top, going big, and it really fucking shows in this design here. It's a white spandex bodysuit covered in rhinestones, question marks, and he's got this green question mark over his eye where the mask usually is, and look at his hair! Look at his bright orange wavy hair! He's terrifying. People look back on this and say it's silly and it's not intimidating. Fuck no, it's intimidating, alright. If a guy suddenly appeared on my TV screen looking like this and it was totally, like, not fictional or anything, I'd be terrified. I'd be shitting myself. What's this guy all about? It's massively over the top. It's a hell of a departure from what I know the Riddler to look like. And I don't know whether I like it or hate it, and I don't know whether I'm scared of it or I find it amusing. It is just straight up unsettling. Moving on. In 9th place, we have the Riddler's spandex outfit from 1995's Batman Forever, as worn by Jim Carrey once again. This isn't the first time the Riddler has been seen in a spandex outfit in live action, but by Jove, is this the silliest it's ever looked, because now it's in neon green and it's skin tight. It's a big pair of pajamas, and no one could look more confident in this outfit than Jim Carrey. But like Batman's costume, it's oddly explicit. Respectably endowed there, buddy. And he's got this little mask on. Who you gonna fool, man? His bright orange hair as well. This took that very early design for the Riddler and made it even more zany and over the top. And again, whether it works or not, I respect the shit out of it. Because that right there is balls on a filmmaker, let me tell you that much. Genuinely, speaking from the bottom of my heart, fucking Joel Schumacher, I cannot salute you more, man. Because for better or for worse, Joel Schumacher was freaking bold. In 8th place, we have the spandex costume worn by Frank Gorshin in the Batman 1966 TV serial, which was in many ways just a straight-up translation of the Riddler's first appearance outfit. It fit within the world of Batman 1966, I'll say that much. And Frank Gorshin looked about as dignified as you could possibly look in a Riddler outfit, but can we also just talk about Frank Gorshin was actually really damn good as the Riddler. People tend to bang on about how the 1966 Batman was really campy and silly, but, like, he really played it straight. He was a great Riddler. As a matter of fact, I think the show is actually a lot more credible than people really give it credit for. But anyways, moving on. In 7th place, we have the Riddler's coat and bowler look as worn by Jim Carrey in Batman Forever, which is admittedly a little bit more palatable for me, as far as I'm concerned anyway. The Riddler's outfit has been quite commonly depicted as like a sort of a business suit and bowler hat kind of deal, and this is definitely a little bit more in line with that. It's still bright neon though, and his legs still appear to be in spandex. again, it's just a very over-the-top version of the Riddler, and I respect it for it. In 6th place, we have Jim Carrey's glitter suit as worn in Batman Forever. God, he had a lot of costumes in Batman Forever, didn't he? It's safe to say that Jim Carrey's Edward Nygma was definitely something of a fashion icon, that's for sure. This is the kind of thing I can imagine like Hugh Hefner running around the Playboy Mansion in. But it's gotta be said, I really like the green on black as opposed to the black on green in this case. It's definitely the Riddler's darkest look in this film, and I think the one with the glitter all over it manages to be the least over the top of the bunch. Put him in a bowler hat and you've actually got a really good look here. In 5th place, we have Cory Michael Smith's glitter suit from Gotham Season 4. This was only really worn for a brief scene, but it's basically the Riddler's costume that he's been wearing throughout like Season 3 up to Season 4, but now in a glitter color scheme, and I think it works actually surprisingly well. It's the much more modernized Riddler where it's more of a suit and tie sort of aesthetic with a bowler hat, which I honestly think is the best way to go, but here it's in this over-the-top glittery sort of sequin look with rhinestones on the bowler hat. It's pretty flamboyant, but who says the Riddler can't be flamboyant? You know, what is wrong with flamboyant? In 4th place, we have Cory Michael Smith's final Riddler outfit from the Gotham finale. The Gotham TV series did a pretty good job at making somewhat modernized, but at the same time kind of timeless looks for the Batman Rogues Gallery, and in the finale they just kind of went straight back to a 1960s sort of aesthetic for these villains, which I think absolutely works and looks cool and all, but at the same time, I gotta admit, I prefer when they kept to their own sort of visual language over when they tried to go extra comic booky with it. So the Riddler's wearing sort of a very shiny sort of dark green on black sort of business suit kind of thing going on here, with a massive green overcoat with sort of faded silvery question marks printed all over it. So the question marks finally made it onto the Riddler's outfit in Gotham. That was kind of the big thing here, is like obviously Bruce got the bat suit, Jim got the moustache for like one moment, Penguin got his top hat, monocle, and fat suit, and the Riddler gets his question marks. Also, green tinted sunglasses. Not a bad way to go, actually. It's certainly a respectable look. It again looks a bit more kind of like TV series supervillain than it does actually a believable character. And I know that Gotham was actually quite over the top and quite zany, much more of a black comedy than Batman and stuff is typically portrayed. So I'm not going to say it doesn't work, but at the same time, I just think what they had before was honestly, while more subtle, actually a little better. In 3rd place, we have the Riddler's suit and bowler hat from Batman 66. Now this was a game changer. Frank Gorshin requested that the Riddler have a bit more of a toned down and dignified outfit for the Batman 66 TV series. And so the spandex costume was swapped out with more of a business suit in green with question marks over it, and man, this looked really, really good and ahead of its time. This kind of set the path for the Riddler's design in years to come. It cannot be understated how influential the 1966 Batman TV series was to the Riddler, making him a much more serious and manic villain. You see, Batman 66 actually made one thing more serious than it was before. Put a little respect on it, man. In 2nd place is Paul Dano's Riddler outfit from The Batman 2022. Remember how I said if it's green and has question marks on it, it's probably the Riddler? Well, we do have that here, but it's been very, very reworked. If a green suit and tie or a green leotard seemed a little outlandish for you, don't worry, the Riddler's now wearing something which is more typically green. He's wearing military gear, including a military parka with his Riddler question mark insignia drawn onto it, presumably like with a white pen or a white Tipex or something. An extreme cold weather mask, he's got cling film wrapped around his head, and he's wearing clear frame glasses over it. Yeah, this is definitely a reinvention of the character's design, but it works really, really well, and I think it looks iconic, frankly. This is everything a redesign should be. It still incorporates all of the character's iconography, it just does it in a new way that is a bit more practical, realistic, but still immediately kind of iconic to look at. Not to mention that this design is unmistakably inspired by the Zodiac Killer, particularly the insignia where the question mark is now between crosshairs of like a gun. I can't see this looking dated. I mean, I can't see anything in the Batman looking dated, as I kind of think Matt Reeves went out of his way to kind of make it feel like a timeless film. And it definitely has lots of nods to the classic sort of Riddler look. But can I actually let's draw up a comparison here. These are the same character. This is the Riddler, and this is also the Riddler. It's the same thing, but with a different vision. Am I the only one that thinks that's actually amazing? Like, that's a really, really good thing. Wow, wow. Matt Reeves, Joel Schumacher, gold stars for both of you guys. Because, like, these two interpretations are polar opposites, but both have one thing in common: the courage. Committing to a vision of the character, be it more timely and understated, or just over-the-top zany and just insane. They're also both scary to look at, in two completely different ways. But in first place, for my #1 pick for the Riddler costume, is Cory Michael Smith's Riddler outfit from Gotham Season 3 onwards. It was a big moment when this outfit debuted, as Edward Nygma had had a variety of unique costumes which all felt very much in line with the Riddler's overall aesthetic, but now he was wearing the iconic green suit and black bowler hat combination. The question marks have been stripped away from this one as well, in favor of it just being kind of a bright green business suit. There's no, like, sort of superhero frills to this. There's no mask, he's wearing glasses, yet it just looks so quintessentially Riddler. Also, luckily for Cory Michael Smith, and also Paul Dano admittedly, neither one of them had to wear a silly spandex outfit. But this is just a good all-rounder. It looks timeless, yet it fits in kind of a modern world. And I just look at it, I'm like, yep, that's the Riddler. That's the quintessential sort of Riddler look. If I did the Riddler in live action, this is very much how it would be. And I think in many ways, this also kind of opened the door for different takes on the Riddler, for me personally anyway. While I love Paul Dano's Riddler, I think I loved it more knowing that we've had the sort of classic Riddler in Gotham, knowing that we've had that quintessential comic booky Riddler. I was much more open to the reinvention. I think I still would have kept an open mind, and I still would have enjoyed the Paul Dano version of the Riddler, but it's nice to, you know, have that kind of security of, like, we've still got the classic. It's been done. So yeah, those are the 10 Riddler outfits ranked. I mean, of course, Ed Nygma or Nashton, whichever they're going for, has worn a plethora of different outfits throughout his tenure in the big screen and on Gotham especially. And it's like, I didn't want to include, like, those outfits because we'd be here all day. And, like, you know, if he didn't have his Riddler persona at that time, you know how it is. But I guess just honorable mention goes to Ed Nygma's Into the Woods outfit from Gotham Season 2, which was a tartan sort of business suit, and I thought that looked really cool. I would have accepted that as the Riddler's look. But yeah, that's my list. What do you guys think? Put your rankings in the comments below. If you disagree, disagree respectfully. And if you do agree, whoop-de-doo, have a chicken wing. I still don't know how to end a video, and I've been on YouTube since 2018, so shit. So what do you guys think? If you enjoyed this video and you want to support more like it, be sure to hit that big, beautiful subscribe button. And of course, in the description below are links to different social media feeds, including the Patreon. If you're feeling extra generous, like the following people, who are JK Strife, Marcus Ward, Sirius the Skeptic, Biotinarts, Mr. SP, David 20 Covers, Sergio, John Comey, Shodin, George is Lost, Legendary Ray Ray, Cheesemaster769, Adam Myers, and Fayalan Schwarzentraub. Thank you guys, you are the best of the best, but as for the rest of you, thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a great day.